I swear I love having this guy on. Not just because obviously he always has something smart to say. He knows all the inside stuff, but because he has a title for everything. I want to know what Mark Meadows has on his business card. He's obviously former congressman, former chief of staff for the president of the United States, little things like that, and also senior partner at the Conservative Partnership Institute. Congressman, if I had that many titles of cool things, I'd have all of them on my business card just to be obnoxious.
Hey, listen, if I could get your name and put it on my business card, I'd do it today. But it's great to be back with you.
Thank you, sir. All right. Everybody and their brother gets you on, and I've done it before too, and they ask about Donald Trump and is he running, is he not running, as if somebody's going to be able to announce that this early. So I'll set that aside for now. I will simply ask this. The former president, what's his relationship with the guy who's clearly the number 2 in that field right now, Ron DeSantis? I understand publicly they're friends, they're friendly. I've never heard otherwise from many of my people, but those are also 2 alphas in the same room, and you know how that can go sometimes. What is their relationship?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Their relationship is actually very good. Ron DeSantis, Governor DeSantis, and I are friends, but he knows that my loyalty is to President Donald Trump, and has been and will continue to be until President Trump decides whether he's in or out. You and I have talked about this before. Honestly, I think he's more in than he's out. And yet at the same time, Governor DeSantis is trying to get out there to make sure that he understands that he's not running away from Donald Trump. I thought it was curious the other day where a Trump DeSantis ticket was trending on Twitter. But I can also say that Governor DeSantis continues to reach out, continues to talk about the America First agenda. So I don't see a conflict at all. I've talked to, I talked to both of them pretty much every day or every other day or so. And I can tell you that there's not any conflict between the 2 of them. But it's a great question because a lot of people are asking that, actually. And Ron DeSantis is all focused on getting reelected as governor. And any talk about him running for president will certainly only be made after President Trump decides whether he's in or out.
Perfect. What everybody wanted to hear. All right. What's the food like as chief of staff in the White House? And I really want to know, do you have, I know they have chefs and stuff in there. Do you get the ability to go in and say, hey, give me a Meadows burger or something?
Yeah, there was no burger named after me there, I'm afraid, when I was chief of staff. I will say this, the mess downstairs, our wonderful Navy men and women do a great job. But the biggest misnomer is that you get that stuff for free. Actually, I got a bill every month from the mess when you get it. So you pay for it personally. There's no free ride, at least not under a Trump administration. There was no free ride. And I can tell you that the food was good. Salads are great. Burgers are good. But any time that you get to dine at the White House mess, it's a great day. But dining with the president in his little private dining room is actually better. That's a privilege that I got to enjoy, and he gets a little bit better service than most of the other people did.
I imagine he does. I imagine he doesn't have to wait for a refill on his Diet Coke or whatever he drinks. All right.
Now he just hits
Dr.
a little
Fauci.
he hits a little red button and it comes in, boom, it just magically appears. So it was something else.
Of course, that's the best thing ever. All right, Dr. Fauci, he's had a rough couple days. Obviously, have not been big fans on this show. I'm not asking you to opine on him personally one way or the other, but I mean, look, Congressman, these emails don't look good. They look like a man who, I don't want to say lied, but a man who chose to avoid the uncomfortable truths, if that's fair, and push comfortable truths instead. And what bothers me most is we have all this carnage economically, and instead I get a book tour for this guy. How am I supposed to merge those worlds?
Well, you can't merge those when he's doing a book tour and making money off of a pandemic, when actually he probably would have been better suited including those emails and briefings to President Trump at that particular time. And I can tell you, it's time for some real hearings on Capitol Hill. Let people like Jim Jordan and others like him that are willing to grill Dr. Fauci, whether it's him or Senator Kennedy or Senator Rand Paul. All of them know how to actually ask the piercing questions. But I think for many of us and for your viewers here today, when you start reading these emails, for Dr. Fauci to come out and make such declaratory statements against what President Trump and Secretary Pompeo were saying at the time, we can tell that it seems like the whole Biden administration is in a cover-up mode. It looks like they have plenty to cover up, and it's a sad day for America. Sad day for Dr. Fauci. This is this is more off base than his pitch, his pitch with the Washington Nationals.
Yeah, that's a fact. Was it boring being a congressman? I remember one time I had to go back and I had to meet with Congressman Trent Franks about something, and I had to sit in one of his hearings, and he had some boring doctor going on about something, and he was sitting there and he was struggling to not nod off, and I thought to myself, this looks worse than school.
Hey, listen, it was never boring for me. I actually had the privilege of serving on the Oversight and Government Reform Committee with people like Trey Gowdy and Jim Jordan. And so every day was a new day. And what you have to do is do your research. I can tell you on some of those committees, and some of those committees like Trent Franks was on and others, it would be rather boring. For me, I wanted to be in the action. I think we all have to make sure that we hold our government accountable, regardless of who's in the White House. And yet, we're finding Democrats are playing defense for their own team right now instead of having real hearings.
Yeah, that's a fact. All right, I want to play this little clip of Jen Psaki for you here.
On the JBS hack, these hackers based in Russia have disrupted American gas supplies and American meat supplies. Why do you think that these ransomware attacks have been rising since President Biden took office?
Well, first, I would say these are private sector entities who have a responsibility to put in place measures to protect their own cybersecurity. As it relates to why criminal actors are taking actions against private sector entities, I don't think I'm the right one to speak to that.
So total coincidence.
I think you could certainly go track down those cyber criminals in Russia and have a good chat with them.
Okay, if you have any leads, we'll take that.
Okay.
Congressman,
it's interesting. When you look at that, I think she didn't say she was going to circle back and get them an answer. So that answer is actually worse than the circle back answer. Listen, we didn't see this under President Trump. I can tell you the reason we didn't see it is because he was willing to hold Russia and other countries accountable. And if it happened on their watch, nothing happens in that private world in Russia without Russia actually giving at least a wink and a nod. And so the reason it's happening is because we see weakness at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue as it relates to China, as it relates to Russia. And what does Russia get in exchange for all of this? Well, they got a waiver on the sanctions on the Nord Stream 2 deal so that they could have a pipeline to serve their fossil fuel interests. It's beyond me when you see Jen up there suggesting that this is only a private act. It's going to happen more and more unless they take a firmer stand in this Biden administration.
well, I can certainly see Joe Biden fired up and digging into this issue any moment. Hey, thanks so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me. Thanks.